Live with the Woodlard Roll!
Let's go!
Let's go!
Better way to start the show than that right there. Welcome back, ladies and gents. You got Hefe and Spiro tonight. He's the guy that keeps you lifted when the sports world gets you down. It's Mr. Glass Half Full. How you doing, big dog?
Doing good. Cheers to you, first of all.
Cheers, brother.
Slightly under the weather, but you know what? When the lights come on, you got to perform. And
Showbiz.
you know, we just it's showbiz. One of our tripod though, he's down. He's down. Sorry, I had to first of all, I have to switch us up. I need you on my left side. I can't. It's a brain.
I know.
Tell E, we're missing E today.
Yes, we're missing E. He is under the weather more than you're able to push through. If you catch my drift.
Yes, he's pushing something through.
He's pushing something through. Hopefully successfully. Sounds like frequently.
Yes,
but
yes.
we hope eat some bananas, drink some water, and you'll be back in no time. Hopefully for a Hard Knocks recap tomorrow. But New York Revival is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Use code REVIVAL, and they will match half your deposit. That's up to $250. You throw in $500, now you got $750 free money. They'll match half your deposit. So go sign up, Underdog Fantasy on the app. Use code REVIVAL. Send us a screenshot when you do so, and we'll get you in our fantasy league. You got any good bets on Underdog that you've been working on?
Hey, I mean, today we did a little New York Revival, a bet for everybody. You know, we included the Yankees and the Mets. We did Aaron Judge to get higher than 1.5 total bases. That means if he gets a single and another single, you win it. If he hits a home run, you automatically win it. A double, you automatically win. 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Francisco Alvarez of the New York Mets. So we did higher for that. So this is fun. It's not like your typical DraftKings or FanDuel website. It gives you a little bit different kinds of odds where you bet on the players, more props, more leagues to do it in. And we'll talk about that later. How we're going to try and create our own fantasy league where you guys can join. And it's just different than your normal other betting sites. And we're just so happy to be a part of it. And we're going to be tinkering with this all summer long and having a good time betting baseball. And then once we get to football season, we're cooking, baby. We're cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So
I had another bet.
In the bet, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
Good. I was making another bet today because there's like some great soccer games going on, and they're like heating up now. It's like getting nice right now. There was a goal today you informed me that he's only 16 years old. What a lethal left foot by this kid. I can't even pronounce his name. Number 19 on Spain.
Yeah. His name is something crazy. It says, I'll get the name for you. 16-year-old. I put it out here. What were you doing when you were 16 years old? I guarantee you it wasn't scoring a beautiful goal in front of millions and millions of viewers, man. Like, I mean, what were you doing at 16?
What's crazy is now he's 16. He's already a legend, right? Because soccer is everything, right? In Europe, he just scored that goal. That was the one to tie it, right? That was that was Spain's first goal to tie it, which was needed so bad. It was only like 5 to 10 minutes after that first French goal. So he does that, and it is a fucking beaut. And then you could tell the confidence. He was looking for that left foot the whole rest of the game. I caught most of that game, but that kid is special. So at 16 years old, I made varsity for a very tiny Catholic school in the middle of nowhere, New Jersey, that no one ever saw. And there was 396 people in our whole high school. That's what I was doing at 16. This guy on the national fucking team for Spain.
Dude.
So he's going to be 18 in his first World Cup. He's a legend already.
He's not going to be able to drink for another 2. Like a second World Cup is when he'll finally be able to party as an adult. I mean, granted, this is Spain. He's probably been partying.
Oh, he's partying. Did you party when you were 16, sir?
Lamine, Lamine Yamal, I think is his name. But just an unbelievable. Like they talk about world class. That was world class. Like just hit off the post. The goalie, by the way, France's goalie is one of the better goalies in all of soccer. He could not even stand a chance. You can't say that. It was an unsavable shot.
There should be an asterisk for that goalkeeper for the goals let up because there's not a fucking human on the planet.
That's not on you, buddy. Yep. That's not on you.
Just an absolute gem.
And so I've been having fun watching the Euros during the day. It's something fun. Me and you both bet on España to advance.
We didn't even talk. We didn't even talk about it.
We didn't even talk about it. We got England versus Netherlands tomorrow. That should also be fun. But dude, I talked about this. Going to the next Euros is a bucket list for me. If you have not seen the videos that have come out during this whole 2-week, 3-week stretch, they just have so much fun. They have so much fun over there. The crowds are electric. The passion behind there's tears flowing from these guys' eyes when their countries get eliminated, man. It's just awesome to watch. And and then you got Copa tonight, which is another all in tournament. Shout out the Canadians. The Canadians from up north are fucking around and going to the semifinals in a tournament that they had no business being in. This isn't hockey we're talking about.
Now, can they actually pose a threat to Argentina, because Argentina is part of this parlay here that Spain just hit on the first leg?
Probably not. But you know what?
Messi's playing.
Yeah, it's someone related it to how USA won in the Winter Olympics and then the Miracle Olympics. USA was not on the map in hockey yet. Like we didn't belong there. But sometimes miracles happen, man. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. No, and listen, I'll be rooting for them. I'll be rooting for the fucking Canadians, man. The Canucks up there. Good for them. I love it.
So I know you were upset about your Mets. So do you want to touch on this?
Let me get this out of the way real quick. Let's talk baseball. We'll get it out of the way for you nice and quick. Francisco Lindor. So the All-Star voting took place over I think it was last weekend. And Francisco Lindor has been having a fantastic year. This is a second straight, very solid year, MVP level like season. He's not going to win the MVP, but he's going to be in the voting. And this whole MLB voting process is a fucking sham. It's a sham. It's ridiculous. So how it works is only one. Every team needs to have one representative in the game, first of all, which is a joke. That alone is a joke. But second of all, Trey Turner, who's a very good baseball player for the Philadelphia Phillies, shortstop, he's played in 40 less games. The season's only halfway through to begin with. So he's played in a quarter of the season so far, having a decent year. He does not have the stats that Francisco Lindor has, yet Francisco Lindor, who is one of the best hitters in the not only the National League, but in the whole entire league right now, he's been raking the ball, is not going to get to the All-Star game because of a guy that's played in a quarter of the season so far. Tell me how that makes sense.
Now, what was the rule you said? What was the thing in the beginning?
Every team, first of all, gets at least one representative. So you're already eliminated. Yeah, I know. You're right. Why? Because
participation trophies?
Because this is how stupid and how old school baseball is. They think that this is like the 1960s where you can only watch these other players, one time in the All-Star game. These young guys are like, oh, we got to sit down and watch. Dude, everybody can watch every game nowadays. This is not the 1960s anymore.
Grow up, baseball. You continue to live in the Stone Ages. Yes. Grow up.
Get to the 21st century already. Come on, people. So that was one thing. And then the second thing is it's just a popularity contest. The fans vote in these players. And that's all it is. There's no player vote. There's no coaches vote. It's a fan voting process.
Our girl Casey had a great comment on this. She was like, he didn't get in because Mets fans suck and they don't vote. That being said, true. I'm a Mets fan and I didn't vote.
I mean, listen, hand up. I voted one time.
Okay.
Yeah, I voted one time. I got one in there. But you can vote 5 times a day. And there's these people that just sit at their computer, vote 5 times a day for their little all-star in Kansas City or fucking whatever the hell you are. And, they get their guy in over a deserving dude. So that's why it's a joke. I try not to get angry about it because the All-Star games are a joke. All All-Star games are kind of a joke. But, when you look back at history, you say, hey, this guy made about, 15 All-Star games, and they have snubbed my man who has a potential Hall of Famer of the last 2 All-Star games. It's a joke, man. And it's I'm pissed off at the process. Brandon Nimmo, another guy who should have got in. There's an injury and he didn't get in, didn't get voted in. And it's just annoying. It's annoying. I hate it. It's the last I'll talk about it. But,
I highly doubt that.
I had to get it off my chest, Hefe. I had to get it off my damn chest.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Would you rather be a Mets fan or a Yankee fan right now?
Ooh. Hey, listen. I know I'm biased right now. And I posed this question 2 weeks ago. I made a video about this. And 2 weeks ago, it was way better situation for the Yankees because they were just starting their slight downfall. Now they're in a free fall. I think the Yankees have lost 6 out of the last 8 series. They've dropped to second place. They're now 3 games behind the Orioles, I believe. They're slipping, and there's no no end in sight, really. Like Garrett Cole, their ace, does not look like themselves. Their pitching has regressed. It's a 2-man lineup. It's Stanton and Judge. If you don't, not Stanton, Judge. Stanton's out. Stanton would have been the third piece. It's Soto and Judge. And if you don't pitch to Soto and Judge, you're pretty good. You're going to make it through the lineup. There's not much else. Volpe's come back down to earth. We got this young kid, Ben Rice, in there. But, like, I'll take the Mets lineup over the Yankees lineup right now, top to bottom. And it's crazy to say because you have 2 potential MVPs in that Yankee lineup, but that's it.
But
you can't field a lineup like that.
And if your pitching ain't right, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
But I ask because it brings up a good topic, which led to revival ranks, right? Yankees versus Mets was kind of like because they're in kind of like 2 trains going in opposite directions right now.
Sure.
And super high expectations on the Yankees early in the year. Mets, yes, early on, and then went to trash, and now they have a pulse again. Mm-hmm. So it led to the New York sports teams, right? And we're going to do this. We're going to do this after a couple topics here, but we're going to rank them 1 to 9 individually. And then tomorrow we'll catch some votes on them and see if who you guys agree with. But it's like basically whose stock is the highest right now, right? And it's not necessarily who's going to win a championship next, although that might be in line. But there's like some seasonal advantages with Knicks and Rangers not playing right now, but still their stock. The stock is the stock, right? So we try to factor all that in, rank them 1 to 9. Now Eli submitted his, but I feel like I need to talk to him about his. So
should we air what his rankings are, or should we let him do it on his own? How do we play this now? He's thrown us for a loop.
We'll let the people decide when we get to it. We can show what Eli did, but he will have to defend one choice in particular. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah. You want to lead us off on this?
We're gonna get right to it now.
You know what? We're gonna talk Giants after this. Let's just get into it. You've teased it. Now we have to get into it. I think
you're right. You're right. Now I wet their whistle. Now they're all excited.
I know. You gotta let's just get into it.
Okay. So the teams that we're talking about, baseball, Yankees and Mets, obviously. Then you got Giants and Jets. Mm-hmm. Hockey, we threw 3 in there: Rangers, Devils, Islanders, because our
Devils in.
Well, our fan base is mostly Giants fans, and that is Rangers and Devils, and then some Islanders. So you got to include everybody here, and then Knicks and Nets.
Lots of Jersey fans, fans. So we got to include them in here. I mean, listen, the Devils are the lone Jersey team left, so let's include them in here and make them feel like they belong. I like this. I like this, man.
Okay, so forgive us for the production value because we are the janitor and the CEO of this here revival company. But here we go. Okay. Just because I need to reference this as we go. Okay. Number 1. Okay. Now 1 through 4 was like really interesting. I think we all had a different 1 through 4. Knicks, I have them. You saw a little bit during the Knicks season of what makes Knicks fans so crazy and awesome and different, right? Yeah. And so coming off the season they picked up Bridges in the offseason. Yep. They are, I think they have tied for the second best odds to win a championship. The stock is super high right now. And this is the New York Knicks. So coming off a really good season, with the changes they made, I still think that their stock is soaring. There's super high expectation for this next season. Incredibly, like more excitement around the Knicks than there's been since the 90s. I think they've already surpassed anything the Melo Knicks have done. I think there's realistic expectations. There's way more depth than Melo ever had. Not a knock on Melo, phenomenal scorer, but this team is just built different. So the Knicks are 1 for me. The Yankees are still like you got those, like you said, MVP guys. So if they could recapture some of that magic, they are a legitimate championship contender, and should be, therefore, for now. And listen, we're going to do this monthly. This is just where we're at right now.
It's going to be ever changing.
You might be surprising by the Jets above the Rangers, but the Jets have possibly the best defense in the entire NFL. Even with their dog shit offense last year, the defense still ranked number 1 overall. You know how hard that is to do when your offense isn't doing shit? Like,
special.
We've seen that a lot. We've seen our defense, as a Giants fan, we've seen our defense get gassed in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, because our offense can't sustain drives and things like that. The Jets had that all year to deal with, and he's still the number 1 defense. So if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, can recapture any of the magic that he's had in his career, this is a legitimate Super Bowl contender. This is an AFC, could be like, if he stays healthy and you have a number 1 defense on the other side of him, you have a stud receiver, you have a stud running back, similar to the Giants, just with a much better caliber surrounding.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to the O-line. It's going to be an O-line thing, much like the Giants, but they believe that they've done it. So moving on.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good sell. Good sell in Jets. I like it.
Thank you. By the way, I just spat these out on paper, and I'm working
you
through
go
this.
You go with your heart and what you got a lot right off the bat, and then you look back over it and you stuck with it. So this is what you're going with. I like it.
Yeah. And I'm justifying it to myself as I'm going through.
Yes, right. You're talking your way through it. I got it.
Rangers coming off a disappointing season. They're still a relevant team. They're still number 4 out of 9. It's not, so disrespectful, but there are big question marks about what do they do now? How can they get past the Carolina, Florida teams that are looking the way they're looking? Florida's not going anywhere, so that's going to be a problem. So it's like, what are you going to do in this offseason? So the Rangers, that's why I knocked them down a little bit.
Okay.
The Mets are alive, and they're right. They're doing some things right now. They get some bonus points for being in season. That's why their stock is up here. So I put them there. And don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me, guys. The Giants at 6. Because
how can you put them high? I mean, that much higher. You can't really put them that much higher, right?
I don't think, and I'm a diehard Giants fan, I don't think you can put them above the top 5 teams at the moment who are the Mets are teetering on playoff hopes, right? Are the Giants expected to be a playoff team? Not by most standards.
I'll get into this with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah. Right now, let's do it. Well, it's funny because I came in, and I you know me, I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
You were having a night the other night. You were firing off. Yeah, go ahead.
I was all jacked up, but I didn't come into the season very high on the Mets at all. I was thinking that we're going to be trading at the deadline. We're just a transition year, and it now I feel shitty about it. You know why? Because that just goes to it told myself, like, you know what? I always go into every season positive. And what's the sense of going into it negative? Because you know what? This Mets team has exceeded my expectations. I'm having a pretty decent time watching them now. And I expected nothing out of them. I expected like last place, we're selling everybody off. And now we're hanging in there. We're back to 500. We're in the playoff race. We're talking about possibly buyers at the trade deadline. So it makes me have a little bit of faith for the Giants because there was talent on this Mets team. I just didn't know how it was going to come together. I didn't know who was going to step up. And we had 2 rookies, lift the spirits of the team, spark plugs. The pitching just held together enough. The veterans have played the way that they're supposed to play. So it gives you hope. Like maybe Daniel Jones will play the way he's supposed to play. Maybe the offensive line will be average. Maybe the defense will be special. So like I'm going to just go into every season for the most part, thinking positive, unless, there's shit show seasons where you're just like, all right, I see no way. But that's what I'm going to go about.
I love how your faith in the Giants is based on the Mets finding some magic.
Well, no, because let's circle back to 2022. Did we ever think that in any way, shape, or form that team was going to make the playoffs? Did we think?
So anything can happen, right? And to be honest, a lot of people think it was the worst thing that could have happened to the Giants was that 2022 season.
That's fair.
But that was the most fun I've had as a fan in a decade. That surpassed the 2016 season. That was the most fun I've had as a Giants fan in a decade. And I don't think it's close. So I would love to recapture some of that magic. That was so much damn fun. Let's
right,
keep moving.
move
Thank
on.
you. Sarge has a good point here.
Let's say
Like
this
I
first.
have to say, I have a Giants tattoo, a Giants podcast, I do Giants sketches, and I have to preface that with I'm a diehard Giants fan. That's fair criticism.
Sad.
And then Devils, you got a couple guys. You have everything to prove. Islanders and Nets. I don't know if I can name a player on either of your teams. You need to find Jesus. Therefore, you're at the bottom of my barrel. And that is Hefe's Revival ranks
I
as
like
it
it.
Stands right now.
I like it.
Now.
Hey, I can't really argue with a lot of that. You know, I that you made valid points. You know, you're solid points. Now I think most of our picks from 5 on are the same. I think they're exactly the same, right?
It was really just our top 4. So
okay, I won't even go into that really because what I'll do is I'll, you know, and I can't believe I put the Mets there above the Giants, but this is where we're at. You know, it's recency bias. I'll start from the bottom. I'm going to work my way up to the top. You get
seasonal advantages. It's true,
right? There's just a slight because I know what the Mets are already. I don't know what the Giants are going to be, so that's why they're a step behind. You know, they could surpass it to go to 5. They could even jump to 4, depending on how the Yankees, you know, bottom out. But, you know, as of this month, as of right now, I'll have my bottom 5 the same way you have yours. Nets are a fucking unmitigated disaster right now. They have a bright future because they have a shitload of picks, I guess. But that's the best you can say about the Mets.
If you're into that sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, but more than likely, they're going to be relocated to Seattle in short order.
Real quick, Colin Cowherd said it best when this Knicks trade happened, and that people were saying like the Knicks gave up too much, and he was like, "Players are better than picks. It's just all true. Picks it's represent true. Are a chance to get good players.
Right.
A good play. It's a bird. It's a bird in the hand.
Yeah,
right? That's exactly what it is. Get the good player. The time is now. So
I mean, I guess you could think that the picks will eventually, if you package them, you can get the player. So there's that part of it too, that they have a stockpile. But again, you have to hit on some of these picks for them to be useful. So now,
we agreed on 5 through 9.
Agreed on that.
Why is the Rangers above the Knicks?
So the Rangers have been to almost the pinnacle twice now. They've gone further than the Knicks twice in the past 3 years. And all they did, so they didn't make the big splash, which kind of angered me. They haven't made the big splash, and you have the Trouba thing, which fucked everything up. Now, but they still, what they did is they replaced Goudreau, their fourth liner, with a guy equivalent to his talent for a third of his pay. You actually signed a couple of other gritty veterans that are going to take place. You get rid of Gustafson and you add Zach Jones, our promising young defenseman. That is addition by subtraction, adding your new rookie into the lineup. You still have a Vezina winning potential cup winning goalie in your net. Philip Hedl back healthy for hopefully a full season. That he missed the entire season last year, and yes, he came back for the playoffs. It was unfair to put a guy who missed basically a whole season back into that kind of grinder right off the bat. So they got a little thicker, they got a little stronger. I do like what. I know. Pause.
Mm-hmm,
They got.
Argentina scored, by the way. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, Bill. Okay.
Who scored, Bill? Because I'm sure a lot of people had a Messi parlay in there. So let me know who scored that.
Messi was there. Anywho, so the Rangers, until further notice, I still have them with a good coach. They should be right there. You mentioned how they're going to get over Carolina and Florida. Those are the two teams they got to get over. You're still putting them third in the conference right now, right? Which is about where you put the Knicks, with Philly and Boston. So you're neck and neck with Rangers and Knicks. I think you could put either one there. I'm a little bit more of a Ranger fan, so they get a little bump from me there. I put them at number 1 for that reason. Knicks, as you laid out, they're right there. They're running back the same team. You add Mikal Bridges, you take away Ihart. That's a little bit of a loss. They have a hole at center, but as I just said, you're putting these two teams are in the conversation for the Eastern Conference Finals in their respective sports, and that's where you want to be. You at that point you worry about health. But you want to have the roster that's ready to compete for the championship, and those two rosters are ready to compete. It's plain and simple. Now I'll have the Jets. I'm right there with you, man. if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, they have everything they need to be a top 2 team, top 3 team. You're right there with Mahomes, man. Like if that's who you're measuring up against, that defense can stop Mahomes. Like that's one of the few defenses that could it puts you in a conversation with anybody. That defense can stop Josh Allen. And who like what other contenders you want to say in the AFC? It doesn't matter because that defense can stop any one of them. And that alone gives you a chance. Then you throw in a Hall of Fame quarterback, with Garrett Wilson out there, and who was their draft pick? Sorry, who was the number 1 draft pick for the Jets?
He went O-line, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm gonna get Jets draft pick. Either way, they have Breece Hall. Yeah, Fashanu. He's ready to take over at one of the tackle spots. If I don't know what the preseason's like, but he's going to take over one of the tackle spots, shore up that spot. They have another running back they just drafted, Corley from Western Kentucky, with another pick. Their wide receiver group's ready to go. They're ready to go. They're stacked everywhere. So in theory, the Jets are right there to compete. So I put them at 3 because, again, all these 3 teams are theoretically in position to make their AFC or East championship.
As a Giants fan, I'm not one of these Giants fans that hates the Jets in any way. If the Giants are not, like my wife's family, you got friends that are Jets fans. Like, a lot of Jets fans, and they're not in the same division as the Giants. Right. So it's different for me. Like I hate Eagles and all them like way more, obviously. Yes. But last year, once you set aside the comedy of what happened with the American flag running out in the season ending like that, as a football fan, I wanted to see that come to fruition. Like I wanted to see what that team looked like,
just to see what happens, right?
Dude, we didn't even give it a drive of what it looks like with Aaron Rodgers. But if he can recapture any of the magic, I saw a stat posted the other day that had his, the best seasons from touchdown to interception ratio. He owns all 7 of them.
All of them.
He has seasons where he's like elite. 35-4.
Right,
40-5, like absurd, absolutely absurd numbers. So I want to see him cook a little bit with that defense. If they could, I would love to see them dethrone, the Chiefs in the playoffs to get to a Super Bowl. That'd be fucking great. Nice. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see that. So I would love to see that actually, or at least give them a chance. No injuries to Aaron Rodgers. Like if they lose and they get beat in the playoffs, so be it. But I want to see them.
Even if he's 80% of what he is, usually that is still 50% better than what they had with Zach Wilson last year, right? Zach Wilson cost them games. So like they're going to be right there, man.
All right, last question for you. Last question. Yeah. Yankees above the Mets.
Yeah, Yankees for now above the Mets. It's next month you come back, circle back. This might not be the case. It's hard to say because they're still 16, 17 games above 500. They started off so hot that by default,
nice
they're going to be a
nice cushion.
Yeah. Yep. They built themselves and again, a lot. That's why if you're a Yankee fan, you can still have faith because like you still have an ace in Garrett Cole, Cy Young winning ace. You still have a good pitching staff. You still got a decent bullpen. You still got Soto and Judge. If listen, Cashman's going to have to knock it out of the park at this trade deadline. I think his job depends on it. Yankee fans are running out of time and patience with Cashman. This has been an every year thing, for a long time. So if he knocks it out of the park, if he gets the right pieces, if he lengthens the lineup just a little bit, they could be right back at top. So right now, definitely above the Mets. They could put themselves back in the AL conversation. Alvarez with a hit. We're right there. We are.
That's part of your bet. That's part of your bet.
Our bet. This is a revival bet, Jeff.
That's an underdog bet. You're right.
This is an underdog bet. We're the underdogs, baby.
Well, thank you for placing this bet, and I look forward to reaping the rewards. So thank you.
I got you. So yeah, the Yankees could do it. They're right there. They have some serious talent. It's can you put it all together at this point? Yeah. So, and again, next month maybe it all changes. That's the beauty of this thing. It was fun.
That's fun. Now, do we want to take a peek at Eli's list?
Let's take a peek, and then what we'll do is we'll circle back and we'll let him explain his list another day. But we have to do this here. All right, Knicks and Rangers. We all have some variation of them too at the top. That makes sense.
Knicks, Rangers, Yankees, no problems. Islanders.
This is where it gets.
This is where
I would love to hear because so Eli is just getting into hockey now. So I know he knows Rangers. I would love to hear his explanation for this. The Islanders being 4. They're a decent team. They might be okay, but hard to say they're even better than the Devils, let alone better than the Jets and Mets at this point.
Yeah, better than the Jets is hard for me to.
It's a hard sell,
but I want to hear. We're not gonna knock him because he's not here to defend himself. So, but we just wanted to take a peek. And now next time,
the only thing he really has to explain is the Islanders. Everything else kind of makes sense.
Yeah, maybe it was a typo. I don't know. Clearly, the caps lock was on at first, then it wasn't. So sometimes things happen with the keyboard. Maybe sometimes he sneezed and typed Islanders by accident. We'll ask him when he comes back. But that was revival ranks. Hope you guys like it. We're going to do that. We're going to try and do that every month, right? And see. And
maybe we'll put out and maybe we'll put out a little image so that people on Twitter can start judging our picks as well. And we'll make this a monthly thing. And maybe whoever wins gets doesn't have to spend money on drinks for the month when we go out. How about that?
I dig it. All right, so we're leading this up. We got Hard Knocks in about 23 minutes.
Oh, baby.
If you check out, so thank you. Shout out to the 269 now 70 people in here. Check out if you're on Twitter, most of you are on Twitter, check out our page and you'll see a giveaway that we're doing. So if you're a Giants fan, you can win a signed Dexter Lawrence jersey. So get on there. You just got to follow us and our boy Nick and retweet the post and you'll be entered to win.
Awesome,
so
dude.
It's free to enter. So just get in there and get a chance at a signed Dexter Lawrence jersey. There's not many. Awesome. I mean, we're being honest here. There's not many Giants that's like, okay, that's a safe jersey to go get.
Right.
He might be the safest. He's one of the best players in the league. Lovable guy, easy to root for. That's a guy whose jersey you want. So go check that out. Get a chance to win it. But if you check out,
he's a Giant for life too, right? Like he's signed. Yeah. Like that's a jersey you could faithfully wear and proudly wear, and you can't say about a lot of people right now.
Yep, exactly. So if you check out our YouTube channel, you'll see that we put out a bunch of shorts on this Nabers, going to the gentleman's club, having a great time. We're not gonna hit on it too hard because we do want to lead up right up to Hard Knocks here. Was there anything else for you to touch on, that hasn't been said already? Like, we're on board with the guy's living his life. He's a rookie doing his thing. It's basically just, who are you hanging out with who's taking the video, posting it?
Yeah.
Because nothing good comes from that. You're going to get obviously bad attention. And maybe he just needed to learn that anything you do is under a microscope.
It will be very interesting to see if it changes him at all, I'm sure the second he steps in to training camp, come middle of July, he's going to get grilled about it and then it'll be over. Because, again, when you think about larger scale, what did he actually do wrong? He was at a club spending, if those were all singles, call it $1,000, or maybe $2,000, maybe call it $5,000. Drop in the bucket for a guy like Nabers right now.
He makes six figures a week. He makes six figures a week during the season.
And let's not count the money in other people's pockets because you don't know how he's investing that other money. You don't know what he's doing.
I also heard something else about this, that there was a rapper that was there with them. And then Eli also educated us. Sometimes as club promoters, they have a budget for this to get celebrities and athletes and stuff to come to their club. It may not even be his money at all, right? Yeah,
we'll still judge him. We'll still judge him like it was his money. That's what's happened.
But
guilty before proven innocent.
My favorite take that we stumbled upon was, well, if he has a monster season now, does anybody care about that video that surfaced? And it's like, go ahead. No. Like, if that video surfaced after he won Offensive Rookie of the Year, what would your face be?
Oh my God, dude! It's gonna be like, first of all, every strip club's gonna say, "Hey, free sign for Nabers to come through, promo their club because they're ready to party," and it's gonna be like, I don't give two shits if you're putting up 1K yards, 5+ touchdowns. And you're doing your job on the field, which by all accounts, all the videos is that he's training his ass off. Otherwise, if what would you have liked him to do? Turn on the lights at his local high school field at 11 p.m. at night and running routes? So would that make you feel better? Would that make you feel better? It's just, I hate that we gotten so PC and we so like, I don't know if it's a strip club thing or it's a throwing the money away thing and then, I don't want to throw this. I feel like there's a little bit of a touch of racism in there. And they're like, he's going to be broken out of the league, but in 2 to 3 years. Like, would you say that about like Aaron Rodgers if he was at the strip club? Would you say that about Daniel Jones when he's in Egypt? When he's going to
he's riding camels with a shirt on his head.
Like, come on, bro. Like, these people
That's probably expensive to do. I don't know.
Daniel Jones is spending a lot of his money doing some fun things, and good for them. They're 20-year-old kids.
You know what? Daniel Jones is drinking light beer and going to country concerts, and that's more offensive than what Nabers did.
Facts, man. But I don't know, man. I think we said it all about Nabers. Yeah. Like I think
the best part is that Giants fans, like we said, we're kind of united on this one. The media was trying to make it a thing, and Giants fans 99% were like,
I like that.
Give the guy a break. Let's be unified on this. So I did like that. So leading into Hard Knocks.
Yes. What are you looking forward to?
Here's one thing I'm looking forward to. The first episode was a Joe Shane episode. And I don't think it necessarily came across very well. Right? Like, I think there was a lot of criticism, a lot of theories, because we all fear Merritt intervenes. You saw him making comments. We like seeing Shane go back, but it was a very quiet Dable episode, and I think number 2 is going to be a real big Dable episode.
Yes.
And I am looking for him to continue to convince people. I'm already a believer that he is the guy that can coach this team, that can lead a top-tier offense in this league. And I think he just needs the right weapons, the right people, and the right O-line, certainly, around him to be able to do all the things that he can cook up. Because you've heard Stephon Diggs come out without, being asked or interviewed about Dable. He just came out and said he was cooking up plays in the second and third quarter to get me open in the fourth quarter. Like, he's brilliant. He does these things. So you hear players come out, say things about a coach like that. And I think you're going to see a little bit about how his brain works in this one. And this is why I personally have a lot more confidence in Dable. I think Shane still has a lot to prove. This year will be huge for that. But I do think we have the right coach. And so I think we're going to see a little bit behind the scenes of how his brain works in this one.
Agreed. And again, I said this on last episode when we talked about the recap of the Hard Knocks episode 1. These general managers and these front office guys are not used to being on camera that much, right? Like, they come in, they do their spiel, their press conference where it's scripted, they know what they're going to say, and then it's done. Now you're putting them front and center on camera for a whole episode, and that is tough. And a lot of it looked like they were trying to act, right? They were scripted. They were saying things like PFF stats when hiring their defensive coordinator. Like, it just felt weird. And maybe all general managers like this. Maybe none of them are. Maybe Shane's just a nerd. Maybe he's just not like too comfortable.
He admitted that he's not that comfortable.
Yeah, right.
Like, he's not what they go into. Jellies. They don't go into business to be actors or funny.
Absolutely.
But it is part of the gig. You got to face the music.
Yeah, and I think we got to give them a little bit of leeway because this is the first of this iteration of Hard Knocks. Like, they're not used to be like you'd go to. Most of it is the practice, showing clips of the football, the practices, the players, the players' families, and then like a snippet of the front office. Like, now it's all front office. It's different. I think we got to give them a little leeway there. Now Dable's a fun character, it seems like. He's engaging. He talks with you, not to the media per se in interviews, but like you could tell he's got a personality, and I'm looking forward to that. What I'm looking forward to even more is the combine interviews. That's the first. This is the most in-depth look that we will have on this whole process, I think, ever.
Of what actually goes on.
Yeah.
You saw the clip today?
The clip today. It was pretty awesome. He put Daniels under the fire. Like my mind exploded just listening to him tell Daniels what to do. And that's the kind of pressure they put on these guys. And Daniels answered it fucking awesomely.
How great was that?
He just said,
now
if
if they're in cover one, what are you looking for? Like, what do you think we want you to do? He's like, throw a touchdown.
Yeah.
They're all like, yeah, that's it. But like,
I like that answer.
That's the difference of having, like if Eli Manning was there, he thinks like Dable in terms of if the defense does this, you do this. Jones doesn't seem like that dude. Jones more like, this is where I'm supposed to go. I'm going to go there. But Jaden Daniels' game is, I'm going to ball. I'm just going to go with my instincts. I'm going to make a play. And he answered just like he plays. If they're in cover one, what do you want me to do? Throw a touchdown.
I just wish, man. I wish I knew how much they love Daniels and how much they love May, because they knew if you go through the process, you knew they had no shot at Daniels. Essentially, no shot. Their only shot was May, convincing the Patriots to possibly trade out, and they couldn't get him either. But man, you could tell how much they loved like what he said, and how much it just you want that fire, that dog in somebody to I'm gonna make a play to fucking score a touchdown, and I need that out of Daniel Jones. Give me a little bit of dog, bro. And I'm not talking about puppy dog, fucking Labrador, Daniel. I'm talking about Pitbull. Go out, make a play, score a touchdown, and that's what we're missing right now. That's what we're missing out of him.
Yeah, and if he doesn't have to be the most brilliant dissector of defenses and what they're doing, but then be confident enough to get out and make a play. You have to do one or the other. Yes. You can't be stuck and not confident, because then nobody wins. There's nowhere to go there. So that's all.
Maybe he's so shell shocked. Maybe he's so shell shocked that I don't know if he'll ever come back out of him, because it seemed like he had that a little bit of that right his rookie year. He was playing like
his first start. He
didn't care. He was just making plays.
How could you be more nervous than your first NFL start?
Because he was so ignorance was bliss. He didn't care about what was going on in front of him. He didn't care, because all he wanted to do was ball out, and he balled out. He was making throws in tight coverage. He was running the ball when he needed to. He was doing all this fucking fun shit. And 4 or 5 years of just getting the shit beating out of you. And tell your judge and Garrett saying, "Hey, don't turn the ball over. You're going to cost us games." And that's beaten into your head day after day, week after week. And it seems like he's a broken man now, man. It seems like he's broken.
I have decided, and while I do have genuine concerns about the Giants, about the direction they're going, their confidence in certain people, I am not going to spread negativity this season.
I like that about you. I like that change in mindset for you. I like that.
Because there are concerns, but it's a miserable existence to just be like, well, this isn't going to work because it hasn't worked, or this guy sucks, this guy sucks. Right. So I'm going to have fun with whatever the situation is.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that,
brother.
Here's the way I look at it, and I keep saying this. First of all, Francisco Lindor, the guy I talked about, 3 for 3, just hit a home run. No big deal. He's pissed off. He's fucking pissed. But
this is a good point.
Yeah. Yes.
And one of the comments. In his face.
real quick. One of the comments was like, "What was wrong? Would you see anything wrong with it?" And the one dude commented like, "Yeah, he didn't take me." I was like, "Yeah." That's the Nabers looked like he was having a good time. But back to what we were saying, I want, until we have all season to be negative, right? Like the talk about last season. The second the season started, it was 40-0. We knew it was going to be a shit show of a season, and then we could be negative then. For now, until they prove that this O-line is not fixed, that Jones is not going to look good, until they prove that they're not going to look good, I'm going to just hope for the best, right? I'm going to hope that they do good. I'm going to, because there is talent there. If they can make it work, just make it work, guys.
Amen, Reverend. Shout out to the 339 people watching on X and YouTube. New York Revival is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Download the app. Use code Revival. Yes, sir.
Keep going. Sorry, I'll say after this.
Use code Revival. They will match half your deposit. So Underdog Fantasy app. We're going to get a private league going. And your way into the league is just to sign up. Send us a DM once you sign up and use that code, and we'll make sure we reserve a spot for you in our league. We're gonna tell you about Scoops.
Well, I was going to tell you that Scoops came in as I was saying, but someone else brought up a point. Let's real quick. Scoops, we're going to get to. Actually, you know what? No. Fuck it. Let's go, Scoops. Hey.
We love Scoops. Camp is coming up, Scoops. Hope to see you soon.
the best. She's the best. I hope so. Your boy's gonna be missing out next 2 weeks. Just to give you guys a heads up, I'm going off the grid, going back to the motherland for 2 weeks, and I'll be Jeff and Hefe. Sorry, Jeff and Hefe. Eli are gonna.
I do have multiple. I do have
There
multiple.
are there's three actually. Yeah, three
fair.
people that are gonna hold it down for me. But I will be back. I will be hopefully catch the end of training camp. Hopefully, maybe that joint practice. We'll talk about it.
Well, Scoobs, save me a seat again because
she's the best.
If I'm going solo, I'm gonna need a buddy. We love you, Scoobs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Last thing I wanted to talk about. Someone said coaching can make you think too much. Yes, and not play on instinct. I get it. What I was gonna say about coaching, I put this tweet out today. What the Giants need is one of Shane Bowen, or Carmen Brasillo to just be a good coach.
A hit.
If they can be a hit, if the defense is better because of him, or he's just a good defensive coordinator, we're gonna stay in every game. And if Brasillo can finally coach up our offensive line and make it serviceable, we will have an offense for the first time in what feels like
we're just asking for a middle third.
Middle
third. 10 to 20, ranked 10 to 20
bottom,
offensive line.
Not bottom 5, not
greedy.
10.
Not greedy
Yes.
either.
But imagine what we could see with a functional offensive line. I don't know. And listen, if by some miracle both are good coaches, you're talking about playoffs then.
Now,
right?
I hate doing this because it's so many if statements. But if both coaches are hits and DJ stays healthy, this is a wild card team. I will say that.
Right. Why wouldn't it be, right? Like what if the defense is good?
There's stars on defense, dude.
Yeah. And there's a star on offense now. Nabers is potentially a top 5 talent at wide receiver.
He's gonna open up Wandale big time.
Right. And is there a world is it too far-fetched to see if there's a decent offensive line, a decent running game, and Nabers and our wide receiver group? Is there a world where you could see Daniel Jones having a slightly above average season, right? Like top 15 quarterback. It's not too far fetched,
and
right?
I think for him, it's not going to be the 35 touchdowns and whatever.
No,
I think his good season is going to be like 20 to 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
Right.
I think that's
a couple of rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I think that's who he is. And if everything else clicks, you can win football games like that because your defense could be gritty and you can just find a way to win these games. Like we had that magic in 22.
Speaking about defense, one last thing. Brian Burns, I don't know if you saw this little clip about him talking to other pass rushers at I think it was a pass rushing camp.
Yep.
And I just love that we got this guy.
Smart.
I love that he is smart.
Dude.
He is talented. He is young. You pair him with another smart, talented, and young guy on the other side. You got Aziz now as the third guy. Dex in the middle. If you could just add one more defensive lineman in the middle, that front 7 is ferocious.
He was already referencing Dex. He was talking about you got to be on the same page as your defensive tackle. As soon as you got to call this out, you got to know where you're going. In a split second, someone's got to call that out, and you got to know where to go. So he was already referencing Dex, which is cool. He's probably dreaming about what this D line could be. And like Bobby O, don't forget Bobby O was a star last year. Like he's a phenomenal linebacker. There are stars on defense. Just got to put it together.
And Andre Patterson now, our very good defensive line coach, is now taking over the whole front 4. There's no more outside linebackers coach. He's taking over, and he is a great coach. He coached up Danielle Hunter in Minnesota. He got a lot of good players under his belt, and we've seen what he's done with Dex already. Transformed that guy into an All-Pro. He now has the edges to tutor as well. I'm psyched to see what he can do with that. So there's things to be positive about. You just gotta hope that the things that we're concerned about just be average. Just be average. That's all I'm asking for. So,
just be average is like it's a real winner's anthem. Just be average.
Make less is fun again, right? That's how we started. Again. That's how we started 2022, right?
You're right. We need to lower the bar. Put the bar back on the floor.
Hashtag.
Just be average.
Yeah. Just be average, bro. This is fun though. I like the power rankings. I like where we're headed. We're gonna be tweeting about Hard Knocks with all you guys. We'll do a recap show tomorrow. So tune into that. Tune into Bobby and Justin, who are going to be talking about Hard Knocks. while it's going on, I believe. While
I think they go right after. So 10
right
o'clock. I think they go live at 10.
It's going to be fun, man. So I'm looking forward to it. This could be a fun episode. Apparently, Art Stapleton said several times how awesome this episode is going to be. So we're looking forward to it.
I can't wait. I got to go make sure I have control of the TV. So I better go.
That's
Cheers to you and everybody else. 350 of you hanging out with us. We appreciate you. And we'll see you guys soon. This has been fun for New York Revival. We'll see you next time.
Love y'all.
New York Revival, I'm in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Woodward Roll!
Let's go.